gotta shine with the sun, and here it comes. It's all about early, and I wanna be there.
Thanks for joining us here on Wake Up Montana. Ken McGrath, Chairston Bell, and we are in fire mode.
And with that, we begin with the fire that's burning in the Lolo National Forest, where a lightning strike holdover fire was spotted just above the Valley of the Moon area.
Lolo National Forest officials say while it is small, only about a quarter of an acre, the fire is in a high danger area right now. 5 firefighters have responded to make sure it doesn't get any larger. They drop buckets of water on the hot spots. Officials are urging folks to be extremely cautious and report any smoke to emergency services or the Missoula Interagency Dispatch Center. The number is at the bottom of your screen.
Right, and we've talked a lot about local Montana hotshot crews leaving the Treasure State to fight fire in places like Canada and Idaho. But one group just got deployed to Alaska, and they're a little unique.
Meet the all-women's fire crew, the group of Montana women who are beginning their careers as wildland firefighters. The conservation group says they built this team to address gender disparity within the profession, they say, and give women a chance to learn outside of the gender expectations of the job. These women are now headed to Alaska to help fight the Hadwin-Zink fire, and that's on the Yukon River.
And our state isn't the only place dealing with wildfires in the country. The Museum fire, burning just north of Flagstaff, Arizona, has consumed more than 1,000 acres and has forced neighbors to evacuate. Officials right now, they're not exactly sure what started it, but they don't believe that it was caused by humans. Now crews, they're fighting the fire with ground crews and crews in the air. And residents who live near the burn area, they've been ordered to leave their homes.
Yesterday it was scary because we didn't know if it was going to come over that ridge. But now it looks better than it did.
People in the community, they've been told to pack an emergency bag that will cover their needs for 3 days.
All right, well, we've seen extreme fire danger really across the West Coast, into Montana, Idaho. Let's bring in Majestic Storm right now, because Majestic, when we talk about this fire danger, so often it's these hot temperatures that can be most problematic.
Yeah, so I really wouldn't be surprised if we had red flag warnings going into place today, because we're talking about very hot temperatures, dry conditions. Those winds are going to start to pick up, and then we have the potential of seeing some thunderstorms. So really a lot happening today. Not only are we talking about hot temperatures, though, potentially some of the hottest temperatures that we've seen so far this year, up towards Chinook and Fort Benton, 96 degrees. Billings checking in at 97 degrees. Today down towards Cody, Wyoming, 91. We're seeing a lot of 90s across the state of Montana with that sunshine as well. We'll see calm winds to get us started today, taking us through that 2 o'clock hour. But as we head through those evening hours, right about dinner time, we'll start to see those gusty winds down towards the southwestern part of the state, anywhere from about 20 to 35 mile-per-hour winds. Here's 10 o'clock tonight. It's going to get windy for Great Falls as well, also down towards Billings. Potential of seeing some thunderstorm activity. That's going to be a major threat today, also with the concern of seeing fires spread or even start. We do have the potential of seeing some stronger thunderstorms over towards the far western part of the state, starting to push over towards the central half, but where we see that darker green, that's indicating a better chance of seeing those thunderstorms develop late afternoon through this evening. And even right now, I'm tracking thunderstorms over towards the northwestern corner, and I'll continue to walk you through that, as well as that 7-day forecast when I see you right back here in just a few minutes. Chairston.
And Majestic, when it comes to weather around the clock, take us on the go. Download the Montana Weather Authority app for the very latest information.
All right, we're getting this just into our newsroom right now. Authorities, they're searching for an escapee in Helena. Now, law enforcement is asking that you keep an eye out for this dude right here, Ryder Daniels. He's been reported as a walk away from the Helena Pre-Release Center. Now, he does have a history of criminal endangerment and criminal mischief. He has several tattoos, including one on his left hand and left forearm. So if you see him or if you know of his whereabouts, you're asked to call law enforcement ASAP. A body found in the Yellowstone River Saturday afternoon near Warden will undergo an autopsy this morning at 9 o'clock. Now, according to a Warden fire chief, the body was located by a fisherman, and the body was caught up in a log jam and appears to have been there for, quote, a while. Now, right now, we don't know the identity of the person or if anyone reported them missing. Now, a Yellowstone County coroner says the body appears to be that of a man. And of course, as soon as we learn any kind of new information, we'll bring you those details on air and online.
New this morning, a burglary over the weekend has many folks asking why. Man breaks into the Great Falls Police Department. Police say Procesus Lofton shattered a window into the secure room, then grabbed a box of DVDs and then took off. He later returned, admitting to shattering the window and stealing the box from the station. Lofton has 2 previous convictions for misdemeanor possession of dangerous drugs and paraphernalia. He's been released on his own personal recognizance. Today, Governor Steve Bullock ordering flags in the state to be flown at half-staff to honor former Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens. The flags are to be lowered in memory of the late justice, who recently passed at the age of 99. Justice Stevens served for nearly 35 years and will be buried today at Arlington National Cemetery. Governor Bullock praised Stevens, who says oversaw historic decisions regarding civil liberties, individual rights, and holding the government accountable.
Congressional leaders from both parties and the White House, they've reached a sweeping budget deal that would also lift the debt ceiling past next year's elections. But there still may be some hurdles. Now, the deal would raise spending limits by $320 billion and avoid a looming fiscal crisis by suspending the debt ceiling for 2 years until after the 2020 elections. Now, the deal, it still needs the approval of the full Congress and fiscal conservatives who are not happy with billions in added spending. Listen.
I have some concerns. I believe that we have to be focused on fiscal responsibility. It's one thing for Republicans to talk about it, but we've got to live up with $22 trillion in debt and the deficits that have been out of control.
Now, some Democrats this morning, they're worried, all right? They're worried that the proposal doesn't do enough to halt the Trump administration from redirecting funds to the president's proposed border wall. Still, Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say that their chambers will move on the legislation before lawmakers leave for a 6-week recess on Friday. Hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans, they filled the streets of San Juan. Look at this. It happened last night. It was another massive protest. For the past week, they've been demanding the resignation of Governor Ricardo Rossello. This after a series of profanity-laced homophobic and misogynistic messages between Rossello and members of his inner circle were released.
The trial is set to begin for a man accused of plotting a terror attack in California as revenge for the deadly attacks on a mosque in New Zealand. 26-year-old Mark Stevens Domingo was arrested in April after police say he finalized plans to detonate a bomb during a white nationalist rally in Long Beach. Federal prosecutors say Domingo, who converted to Islam, discussed several types of attacks within the FBI and even made an informant contact with him after he called for retribution on a private online group. Domingo has been charged with providing and attempting to provide material to support terrorists. South Korean jets have fired warning shots at a Russian military plane that entered into South Korean airspace. The Russian aircraft twice violated South Korean airspace off the country's eastern coast. It allegedly flew above the Dokdo Islands, claiming by both South Korea and Japan. In response, South Korea fired multiple warning shots at the aircraft. Earlier in the day, 2 Chinese aircraft had also entered into South Korea's air defense identification zone. Now, the incident is unusual. Russia and South Korea rarely come into conflict.
All right, new this morning, President Trump's eldest son will soon be a published author. Donald Trump Jr. has announced that his first book, it's going to be coming out November 5th, just in time for the holidays. The title is called Triggered: How the Left Thrives on Hate and Wants to Silence Us. All right, trending this morning, the city of Bozeman is known for its celebrity guest appearances. I mean, you're seeing this here from Justin Timberlake to the Kardashian family. The city really welcomes all.
Well, most recently, the city rolled out the red carpet for country music icon Reba McEntire. The multi-Grammy award-winning artist spent one evening having dinner at the Country Corner. They posted on its Facebook post, quote, We're able to get a bit of our acclaimed prime rib on Sunday. She often makes breakfast at the Country Corner a part of her Bozeman visit. So welcome.
Yeah.
Hope you had a lovely time here.
Yeah, and just really quickly, Kirsten, I grew up on Reba McEntire. My grandfather loved listening, to her in Alabama, and we watched the Grand Ole Opry together. I remember Reba's famous song, of course, "That's When the Lights Went Out in Georgia." So when I saw this song, it just brought me back to childhood memories.
Do you want to, Reba, if you're watching this morning?
That's when the lights went out in Georgia.
Your song has officially been stolen. All right, well, think about this for a second. Leaving your car at home, not filling up the gas tank, and if you work downtown, you'll get this, not looking for a parking spot.
Exactly. Wake Up Montana's Bradley Warren. He caught up with the state's first e-scooter share program. Bradley, good morning.
Well, good morning, Ken. Here I am on my scooter. They go roughly 15 miles an hour, and there's about 150 of them scattered across the city. But when the owner of the new eShare scooter company got off her scooter in San Diego, she knew she was bringing them right here to Bozeman. So after some negotiation and conversation with the city of Bozeman, they are here. The first e-scooter program in the state of Montana, as of yesterday, launched here, and the owner, as of yesterday, still is the only female immigrant at the helm of a scooter company in the United States. She's proud to live here in Montana. She's proud that her scooters were engineered here in America, and she's excited to ride her scooters into the sunset, chasing her dreams.
Just things that you wouldn't even expect have happened. It's been really fun to watch, and I've been telling everybody, Blink's success hasn't been really anything to do with me. I've gotten out of the way and chased it. This company created itself so fast. So it's been really exciting to be involved in it.
She says there was a need for that. This is something that the people of Bozeman truly wanted. The people of Montana truly want. The city of Bozeman has been very cooperative in helping launch this. The hope is to expand across the state, but for now she's celebrating that successful launch yesterday and waiting to see numbers and how everything pans out. Now, if you live here in Bozeman and you want to ride one of these scooters, it's super simple. You download the app wherever you download apps from on your phone. They tell you where the scooters are, where they're available, and where they're available to be dropped off. The super important thing to note, though, with these scooters is you have to drop them off in a designated drop-off zone for your ride to be over. So that information available on our website about how you can download that app and how you can start scootering to work. But for now, I'm Bradley Warren reporting live in Bozeman. Wake Up, Montana.
There he was, there he went.
Hopefully a little later on in the show we'll be able to ask him about, I know a lot of kids have been wanting to do these in other cities. There's been some huge controversy from some of the ER rooms seeing an increase in kids getting hurt on these, helmet laws. So we'll look into all of that for you. So it's not just all fun and games.
Yeah, no.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, I say.
I hear you, I hear you. All right, hey, glad you're with us. We're following a big story right now if you're just joining us. Shodair Children's Hospital, they're reopening its doors to new patients after closing them following the death of a patient who escaped. We're going to have more details for you coming up.
And hunger doesn't take a vacation. That's why a local food bank is asking for your help after the break.